They celebrated without me, in my own apartment. My mom and sister planned a baby shower but forgot the most important person, me. That day, something in me broke forever. My name is Linda. Before we continue, please write in the comments which country you're watching this video from. Stay with me and enjoy the story. It started like any other Saturday. I was coming home from a quick errand, carrying a bag of groceries, humming to myself and thinking about what to cook for dinner. But when I reached my apartment door, something felt off. There were voices, laughter, chatter, even music coming from inside. At first I froze, thinking maybe I had the wrong apartment. But no, this was mine, my own place. I tightened my grip on the grocery bag and unlocked the door. What I walked into felt like a slap to my face. My entire living room was filled with balloons, banners, and people I had never even seen before. Streamers hung from the ceiling. My dining table was covered with cake, snacks, and gifts wrapped in pastel paper. It didn't take me long to realize what was happening. A baby shower. But not just anyone's. My sister's. And it was happening right here, in my apartment. The shock rooted me to the spot. My mom was standing near the sofa, laughing as she poured drinks. My sister was in the center of it all, wearing a sash that said, "Mom-to-be." Everyone clapped when she opened a gift, and not one person even noticed me standing at the door with my groceries slipping from my hands. When my mom finally turned and saw me, her expression wasn't one of guilt or surprise. It was annoyance, like I had walked into the wrong room. "Oh, you're back early," she said casually, as if this was all perfectly normal. I stared at her, then at my sister, then at the decorations covering every inch of my walls. My couch had people I didn't know sitting on it. My shelves had baby toys stacked on them. My kitchen counters were covered in plates I hadn't put out. Everything, every single thing was mine, but nothing felt like mine anymore. The anger started to rise, but at that moment it was drowned out by something heavier, humiliation. They didn't even want me here. They hadn't even bothered to tell me. My own family threw a party in my home, and I wasn't invited. I put my groceries down quietly, hoping for at least an apology or explanation, but none came. My sister laughed at a joke one of her friends made, completely ignoring me. My mom turned back to her conversation. I was invisible in my own apartment. I walked slowly through the room, feeling strangers brush past me as they reached for snacks. They looked at me like I was an intruder, someone who didn't belong. I wanted to scream, to throw everyone out, but the weight of betrayal pinned me down. Finally, I escaped to my bedroom, shut the door, and sat on the edge of my bed. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. Tears burned my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I kept asking myself, how could they do this? How could my own mom and sister treat me like I was nothing? That night, as I sat in my room listening to the muffled laughter outside my door, something inside me hardened. I knew this wasn't just about a party. It was about respect, or the lack of it. And I decided right then that I would never let them walk over me again. This betrayal would not go unanswered. That was the beginning of everything that came next. I waited until the last guest finally left before stepping out of my room. The decorations were still hanging, empty cups and plates scattered everywhere, and the air smelled like frosting and perfume. My mom and sister were laughing as they cleaned up, like nothing was wrong, like what they did was just another normal Saturday. I cleared my throat. They turned to look at me, and my mom raised her eyebrows. "What?" she asked, as if I was the one intruding. "What?" I repeated, my voice trembling but firm. "You threw a whole baby shower in my apartment. You didn't tell me. You didn't invite me. Do you have any idea how humiliating that was?" My sister chuckled, rolling her eyes. "Oh my God, Linda, don't be so dramatic. It's just a party." "Just a party?" I snapped. "In my home, without my permission, without me even knowing. You didn't even think I deserved an invite?" She laughed again like I was telling a joke. "Relax, it was easier this way. Your apartment is bigger and you weren't even going to use it today. What's the big deal?" My mom chimed in, her tone sharper. "Stop acting like a child. We didn't think you'd mind. We kept everything clean. And honestly, you should be happy we thought your place was nice enough to host something like this." Happy? I stared at them in disbelief. My chest tightened, anger mixing with hurt. "You didn't think I'd mind? This is my home. You didn't even ask me. Do you know how it felt walking in and seeing strangers eating at my table, sitting on my couch, while you acted like I didn't exist?" My mom sighed, shaking her head. "You're too sensitive, Linda. Always looking for something to be upset about." That word, sensitive, it cut deeper than anything, because it wasn't the first time she had used it. Anytime I tried to stand up for myself, anytime I voiced my feelings, I was told I was too sensitive, too dramatic, too much. I clenched my fists. I'm not being sensitive. I'm being disrespected. You used me, you disrespected my boundaries, and then you didn't even bother to acknowledge it. But instead of an apology, my sister smirked. "Seriously, grow up. We did you a favor. We could have gone somewhere else and not included you at all. Be grateful you were part of it at all." Part of it? I wasn't part of anything. I was a stranger in my own apartment, a shadow they ignored while they celebrated like I didn't matter. The humiliation from earlier boiled into something sharper. Rage. My voice shook, but this time it wasn't from weakness. It was from fury. "You think you can just walk all over me because I don't scream? Because I don't fight back? Not anymore. You crossed a line and you don't even see it." My mom's eyes narrowed. "Don't make this into some big drama, Linda. It's family. Families share. You're being selfish." Selfish? Sensitive? Dramatic? Those were their weapons. Every word made me feel smaller, but I forced myself to stand tall. For once, I didn't let the words bury me. I let them burn instead, fueling something inside me. That night, I realized something important. They weren't going to change. They weren't going to suddenly respect me or treat me better. If I wanted things to change, I had to be the one to do it. And that was when the idea began to form, an idea that would teach them both a lesson they'd never forget. I spent the rest of the night lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every word they said. Sensitive, dramatic, selfish. Like a broken record scratching at my brain. The laughter, the music, the clinking of glasses still echoed in my apartment even though the guests were gone. I could still see their smug faces, like they had done nothing wrong. But under all that anger, something clear started to form. I couldn't just let this slide. If I did, they'd keep walking all over me, keep treating my home like it was theirs, keep dismissing me like I was just some fragile little thing. This time, I had to hit back. So I got up. Quietly, I pulled open the kitchen drawer where I kept a small box of random junk. Batteries, tape, old pens, and spare keys. I counted each one, my stomach twisting when I realized there were more than I remembered. My mom had one. My sister had one. My aunt probably had one too. Who else? How many people had free access to my space? That thought made my skin crawl. My apartment was supposed to be my safe place, my little bubble where I could breathe without judgment. And yet here I was, realizing that anyone could just walk in, throw a party, and act like I didn't even exist. I sat at my desk, opened my laptop, and typed, "Change apartment locks." Within minutes, I was scrolling through listings for lock sets and digital keypads. I didn't want them to have any control left, not even the illusion of it. My heart pounded as I clicked Add to Cart and paid for overnight delivery. For the first time that night, I smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was sharp, bitter, fueled by anger. But it gave me something I hadn't felt in a long time: control. Over the next day, I acted normal. I didn't bring up the party again. I didn't yell. I didn't even look upset. When my mom texted me something casual about dinner next weekend, I replied with a polite, "Sure." When my sister sent me a meme, I even responded with a laughing emoji. Because the truth was, revenge works best when no one sees it coming. Meanwhile, I tracked the package on my phone like it was the most important thing in the world. Every update made my pulse quicken. Processed, in transit, out for delivery. It felt like I was waiting for a weapon to arrive, a silent one but powerful. The moment the box hit my doorstep, I pulled it inside, locked the door, and tore it open like a kid at Christmas. The shiny new lock gleamed up at me, promising freedom. I'd never changed a lock before, but I didn't care. I watched tutorials, laid out the tools, and got to work. Screw by screw, I stripped away the old lock, the one that had let them invade my life, and replaced it with the new one. My hands shook, not from fear, but from adrenaline. With every turn of the screwdriver, it felt like I was reclaiming a piece of myself. When I finally tested the door and heard the solid click of the new lock, I almost cried. No more spare keys floating around, no more uninvited parties, no more being treated like a guest in my own home. That night, as I sat on my couch, I pictured the look on their faces when they came by, laughing with their balloons and gifts, only to find that their keys no longer worked. The thought made my chest warm. For once, I wasn't the one on the outside. This time, they would be. The morning after the new lock was installed, I woke up with a strange feeling in my chest, relief, but also anticipation. For the first time since I moved into this apartment, I felt like the space truly belonged to me. Every corner, every piece of furniture, even the silence felt different. It was mine again, untouched, untainted. Still, my hands trembled a little as I made coffee. It wasn't just about replacing metal, it was about erasing years of being overlooked, dismissed, and stepped on. Changing the locks meant they no longer had free access, not just to my apartment, but to me. And I couldn't stop thinking about that. I replayed the night before in my head. The loud music, the crumbs of cake ground into my rug, the smell of perfume that wasn't mine lingering in the air, the way my mom brushed me off like I was a child throwing a tantrum, the way my sister laughed as if the joke was me. Those images fueled me as I turned the key in the new lock again and again, testing it, almost savoring the sound of the firm click. That sound became my weapon, my shield, my revenge. I spent that whole day taking small steps to reclaim what was mine. I cleaned slowly, carefully, almost ritualistically, throwing away every balloon, wiping down every surface, vacuuming the crumbs, and washing the throw blankets that smelled like strangers. Each task was more than just cleaning. It was like I was scrubbing their presence out of my life. By the time I finished, the apartment smelled like fresh laundry and lemon cleaner. It was peaceful. It was me again. But under that peace was a bubbling excitement. I imagined the day they would come by again, confident as ever, thinking they could just waltz in, arms full of baby gifts and fake smiles, ready to use me and my home one more time. And then I pictured the moment their key would fail. The twist of metal, the rattle of a locked door, the slow realization spreading across their faces. My heart pounded every time I imagined it. I even practiced what I might say if they knocked. Maybe I'd open the door just a crack, smile politely, and tell them, "Oh, sorry, I changed the locks. You should have asked me before planning another party." Or maybe I wouldn't open the door at all. Let them stand there, humiliated, realizing they weren't welcome anymore. Both options tasted sweet in my head. That night, lying in bed, I felt safer than I had in months. No one could barge in. No one could take over my living room. No one could use me. The weight of years of being the quiet one, the soft one, the one who never fought back, it started to lift. My revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. It was quiet, sharp, and final. A simple change of locks, but it changed everything. And deep inside, I knew the day they came back was going to be unforgettable, not for me, but for them. The knock came just as I had finished dinner. At first, I thought it might be the neighbor, but then I heard my sister's voice outside the door, casual and entitled, like she always was. She tried the key. I froze. The sound of metal scraping against the lock sent a shiver of satisfaction down my spine. Another twist, another rattle, then silence. "Linda, the lock isn't working," she called, her tone more annoyed than confused. My phone buzzed seconds later. A text from her lit up my screen. "What did you do to the lock? This isn't funny." I didn't answer. I leaned against the wall, listening as my mother's voice joined hers, louder, commanding like she owned the place. "Open the door right now! Don't be childish!" Childish. That was always their favorite word for me, wasn't it? Anytime I said no, anytime I pushed back, anytime I dared to want something for myself, it was childish. I almost laughed. They knocked harder. Then came the calls. My phone lit up with their names over and over. When I didn't answer, the guilt-tripping texts poured in. "After all we've done for you, how dare you treat your family this way? This is your sister's big moment. You're ruining it. We are your blood, and you will regret this." I sat there calm, sipping tea, my phone buzzing like a swarm of angry bees. Each vibration reminded me why I had done this, why the lock was necessary, why I could not allow them to walk all over me anymore. Finally, I answered one call. My mom's voice came sharp through the line, filled with fury. "Linda, open this door right now. We are family. You don't shut family out." I let her finish. Then, for the first time in years, my voice didn't shake when I spoke. "Exactly. Family doesn't shut me out either. Family doesn't use my home without asking. Family doesn't throw me away like I don't matter. You had your fun. You crossed a line. And now you don't get to come back whenever you feel like it." There was silence. For once they didn't have a quick comeback. I ended the call before they could recover. Their knocking grew weaker, their voices more desperate, and then eventually the hallway went quiet. They left. I sat in that silence for a long time. My heart was heavy, but it wasn't broken. For years, I thought keeping peace meant letting them walk over me. I thought love meant giving them everything, even when it hurt me. But love without respect isn't love, and peace that costs your dignity isn't peace. Changing the locks wasn't just about a door. It was about finally drawing a line no one could cross. It was about reclaiming myself. That night, as I curled up in bed, I felt free. For the first time in my life, I didn't just exist in their shadows. I stood on my own. And that's how betrayal works sometimes. It doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the ones closest to you, the ones who think you'll never say no. But the day you finally do, that's the day everything changes. Because sometimes the ultimate revenge is simply protecting yourself.